preparation?
Yes.
Feel like you're in the wilderness? Makes sense for you. To be hidden by God. The word hidden means to be out of sight, concealed, undisclosed, isolation, secluded. Sometimes God will take us through a season of isolation. And when being secluded by God, sometimes you feel lonely, overlooked, forgotten about, and left out. You have a hunger and desire to do what God has called you to do, but no one sees what you bring to the table. You find yourself asking God, why? And in those lonely moments, you ask God, where are you? Just remember, you are operating in your purpose. Your purpose began the moment you arrived on earth. Before your parents came together, God already knew you. He already sanctified you, set you apart, and ordained you. You are already predestined to do God's work. But just like a pregnant woman, she experiences her child before that child is born. She feels the butterflies of kicking and movement. She measures her stomach weekly as she watches it grow, yet her child remains hidden to the world. No one really knows what this child looks like. The child, the color of the child's eyes, the color of the hair, how much hair, but it doesn't change her experience or the knowledge of that child. While that child is in utero, it is growing and maturing so that it can sustain life outside of the uterus. And when that child is born, it comes into the realm of being revealed to the world. You are hidden. When you are hidden, you are known by God. When you are in hiding, God knows everything about you. He knows who you are, He knows where you are, and He knows what you need. When it feels like no one else sees you, God sees you, and in due time, He will reveal you. And whatever it is that God has called you to do, it doesn't start when you have a stage, it doesn't start when you have a microphone, and it definitely doesn't start when conditions in your life have been met. It starts when it looks like you're in a cave, when it looks like you're in the desert, the wilderness, or even prison. It starts when it looks like or feels like you're in a place by yourself, that hidden place. But know that you are never alone. God is with you. And when God is hiding you, He is developing you, He is maturing you, and He is growing you. He's building endurance and tenacity in you and teaching you understanding and patience so that when He reveals you, you won't be consumed by greed or the lies of this world, and you will be kept from the evil one. It's not uncommon for God to hide you. When God chooses to hide you for a time, He's preparing you for a greater purpose. God hid Joseph in prison before he ruled under Pharaoh to prepare for the famine. God hid Moses in the desert before He led the people out of Egypt. God hid David in the mountains and caves from Saul before he was king. God hid Jesus before He began His teachings. And God hid Paul in Arabia before he began his mission. You may be hidden from people, but you are never hidden from God. He knows where you are. He is always with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. You are not off course or behind. You are on training ground, being prepared for greatness. He has already factored in the mistakes that you have made and the ones that you will make, and still says, I choose you.